Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank you so much for coming back. It's me again, Peter. Today we're going to see something different, a step-by-step guide of how we're going to create a nested virtualization lab with virtual machine in Azure. It's going to be a very fun day. My goal is actually to make sure we're able to test things out. We can learn along and see how things are being done may be similar to what happens in real life. So the machine that we created in the last video, I've actually remote connect to it. So with the help of PowerShell, we're going to make this machine a super machine. So I will provide you with this PowerShell information below this video in order for you not to so that you can actually speed up the process. But before that, let me show you what we're going to do. Now that we actually RDP to the Azure VM, we're going to open PowerShell with administrator right. I actually have it here because I just don't want you to see that I'm just copy and pasting, but I just want to see everything that I'm going to be using. So let me go ahead and install this feature. What is it actually doing is that it's going to install the DHCP role and the Hyper-V role. If you look at the server manager right here, you see that we don't have that role. We can actually do this manually by going to manage, then click on next, then go to next, select the server that we want next, and then install the Hyper-V role right here. And the other one, which is the DHCP role. But why not? Let's go ahead and do it by PowerShell. So I'm just going to highlight this and run the selected line. So what this is going to do is just going to do its stuff in the background, and just the same way we can do it manually, we can actually do it with PowerShell. So let's wait a little bit to finish. If you're actually following along, you can just try that in your own PC or computer also. Like I mentioned in my last video, you are all oh what did I want to say? Okay, you can always do this on your own local machine, and I might be able to show you in the future on how to do that. So now this is done. We have to restart. So I just go ahead and do this one. So I won't like you to keep waiting while the system restart. I will pause the video and I'll be right back. All right, the machine is actually up and running again. So I'm waiting for the dashboard to load. If you take a look, you see that we now have the Hyper-V role and the DHCP role, which is really good for us. So if I go over here and I go to, I think, the administrative tool, I will see that I have an Hyper-V right now and I can launch it. Oh, pretty cool, right? So this is where all the magic is going to be happening soon. But before that, we have to say configuration required for DHCP at StudyWithPeter. So what we need to do is click on this one and complete the DHCP configuration right here. All we have to do is just commit. And that's it. With that being said, this one is done. What next? We are going to go back to the PowerShell, the ISA one, and run as an admin. So it actually load back my, well, it's not a script, it's just like a PowerShell stuff that I saved. So I'm going to run this. Actually, I've actually customized it, and let me tell you what is going on here. Actually define a variable with a switch name that is equal to the name that I want. You can always change it. So I'm calling for new switch, and I'm calling this name back, which is a switch name, and I'm selecting the type of the switch type internal. All these things you can actually do it manually. For example, I can go over here. No, not here. The switch manager, and this is actually what it's doing. So I'm asking this to create an internal switch for me. So the same thing, if I click create, and I am filling the name, and I'm telling it to get a new network, New-NetNat, and I'm calling back the name. I'm applying the IP address that I want in that range. Let me just cancel this. So I'm calling also some variable right here, and I'm doing a new net IP address so that I can have an IP address associated to this switch. So with that being said, if you're fine with this, you can always change it, but just be careful. And then you can run it, and that should be it. There's another way that actually I do approach this in the past in my previous video. Maybe that one is more simpler than this one, but hey, if you're actually in a hurry and you just want to deploy something, then you can just come here and go with this one. So this one, what we are doing here, the command above is actually going to create a DHCP, a scope for the Hyper-V NAT, and assign a gateway IP address, DNS IP for that scope on the DHCP service, and also restart the DHCP server. So that is what this is going to do. Again, we can always do this manually by actually going to the DHCP, and we can go to DHCP manager. So here we can actually create the IPv4 scope, and just right click on it and click on new scope, and you can actually give it a name and keep going. But why not? We already have a PowerShell. We can do it with PowerShell. So I'm going to run it. So let's see what it's doing. You see that? It just created that scope for us with the same information that was provided, and also between 50 and 100, just like what we have here. And we have a subnet max for that. So with that being said, it's done. And that's everything that we need to do. So what we have to do here is that I will go ahead and download my first image. These actually take a while, but I will do my best to fast forward this send, because really I don't want you to wait for me to actually go ahead and, I will show you where I'm going to download it, but I'm not going to let you wait for you to see the download. I just fast forward that for you. So I can just say download Windows 10 ISO. It's pretty easy. And you can go here. Just make sure that it's actually Microsoft Sites, software download Windows 10. And you can come over here and download the media, installation media. It's kind of really fast, but not the download that we want. So let me just minimize this. Like I mentioned, I really just want you to see a lot of things like in the raw version. These actually takes a lot of, well, maybe like 5 to 10 minutes, but I just want to, how do you call it? I'll walk you through so that you can, whenever you're actually doing that in your own lab, you'll be able to have an idea how long it takes for these to 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 be done. So we're not upgrading our PC right here. We're only going to create the ISO file, and we're going to choose, I'm going to choose English and 64-bit. Next. So I don't have a USB drive right here, so I'm going to save it. I'm going to choose the ISO file and save it somewhere on my disk. Remember that we actually create a disk during the when I was creating the Azure VM. I'm going to show you how to bring that disk to life, but I'm not going to call it maybe another video, but I'm going to show you how that works. But for now, I'm going to put this Windows 10. I'm going to put it in download for now. So this is going to take a while. So I'm going to pause this video and I'm going to come back when it's done. Wow, it's actually going really fast than I think. So let's just wait a little bit more to see. And while we are waiting, if you do have any question or you don't understand a little bit of what I'm explaining, kindly put it down in the comment section and or just connect with me, and I'll be very glad to reach out to you and we can actually have your question answered. Wow, that looks like it's still gonna take some time, a little bit. So let's wait a little bit. I'll be right back. Wow, it only takes like maybe 2 to 3 minutes, to be honest. It's pretty fast. So let's check out something while I'm actually waiting for that to finish. Remember that we create a InternalIPInterfaceAddressPrefix, and I'm going to show you that it actually created that with the PowerShell. So how do we check? Okay, I think I'm going to go to my virtual switch. You see, right here is my StudyWithPeter, and it actually tells us that is internet network, and that's it. We have some information right here with the MAC address. We can actually create a new network switch right here also. But the idea is this. Let's go back to, how do you call it? Where we download our Windows 10. Okay, everything is looking good. Now, this is a super mega machine, trust me. So now let's go ahead and create a new virtual machine. I'm going to choose next. I mean, just to show you, I might be able to, let me just call it window. I just want to show you that this is really work. Choose generation 2. You see, we have a StudyWithPeter right here. I'm going to give more explanation in the later video of how all this it's working. But just to test to make sure that our nested virtualization is working, we're going to create a Windows 10 machine. It's going to take time, so I won't let you see all of this. I just wanted to prove that this machine is actually working. I will go ahead and pause this video just for me to finish with the installation of Windows 10, which I'm going to provide that information in the future. Well, just to let you know that I'm not doing something really hiding right here. I just want to prove that concept that This is actually going to work. So one thing I need to do to prove that we're going to have internet inside this machine, because now remember we have this is the mega machine. This is the machine. It does have internet. So we're now creating a machine inside this machine by using that. So that's what it called like nested virtualization. So we can create a Windows 10 machine, we can create a Windows 11 machine, we can create a Windows server. So this is going to be my base lab right now. So where I'm going to be testing a lot of stuff. First, we're going to have internet in those machines, so which actually going to help us to do a lot of things. And second, we can actually delete that machine and recreate it again. So it's a big plus for us. I will pause this video right now and I will be right back once this Windows 10 finish. And if you have been following me, I really thank you so much. I really appreciate that, because in the future video, I will show you how we can actually speed up this process so that you don't have to wait and keep doing Windows 10 like this again. And I mean, I love to do it this way, don't get me wrong. It's a big one for me. But if you really want to deploy something really fast, so I will provide that information for you. I mean, I will show you on how to do it, and you can get everything up. That's the power of virtualization. So you can actually enjoy it. And I enjoy what I do. I'm very grateful. And I will show you a lot of things. I'll be right back. All right. Actually, it takes like 10 minutes for this machine to be up. So for the proof of concept that these actually work, we can see that I'm able to pull up some things, and if I go to bing.com, I'm able to search something like, let's say, books. And you can see that we actually we already have a nested virtualization happening here. So we have a very good, I mean, what else can I say? I can have this network thing here, and I can go to images of books, and I can just browse anything that I want. You see, I'm actually browsing inside this machine just to prove to you that this work. I know that we have actually spent 20 minutes. IT is not something that we can rush. So there's a lot of time invested into this. So if you made it to the end of this video, I really want to thank you so much for staying by. I hope you have learned something really great. In the future video, we're going to start building our lab. When I say lab, like we're going to start building Active Directories, Windows 10, Windows 11 for test, a little bit of SQL, a little bit of Exchange, Citrix Virtual Apps, and desktop. I mean, anything we wanted to test can be done inside this machine. With that being said, thank you so much for following me to the end of this video. I'll see you in my future video. Stay blessed and keep improving yourself. Bye bye for now.